If you just found out that your family is moving back to Northern Virginia and you are freaking out, take a breath. This video is going to give you a step-by-step guide, a little plan to help you minimize stress and maximize fun so that your family has a smooth transition to Northern Virginia. Whether you're coming back or you're coming here for the first time, this video is going to help. So, who is this video for? It is really for families relocating to Northern Virginia. I usually help people that PCS, I have corporate relocations, anybody who is thinking about buying in Northern Virginia and wants some clarity around timing. What does it look like? Schools, housing, and how to make smart decisions without feeling rushed and without regret, right? It can be so much to move your family anywhere, but most especially here to Northern Virginia where things are super, super fast paced. It's really all over the map, what kind of schools, what kind of communities, what kind of locations that you can land. And so it's really, really important that you take a breath, you start early, and you just build out a plan to minimize overwhelm. Hey, I'm Cassie Carey. I specialize in helping families relocate to Northern Virginia because I have done it myself. I've moved in and out of Northern Virginia 4 times, and first alone, then I had 2 kids, slowly increased to 3 kids. Now we have 5 kids, and we know what it's like to feel unsure and uncertain of where we should land. We've lived in multiple places in Northern Virginia. We've started close to the city. We've slowly moved out to Vienna. And I have learned throughout multiple years of supporting families relocate that what makes the biggest difference is having a plan. All right? Okay, so this week, if you found out that you're moving back to Northern Virginia and you are freaking out because you're like, where are my kids going to go to school? What community is going to feel like home? Where are we going to feel the best? I got you. All right, let's talk about a timeline. So when you move here to Northern Virginia, anytime you close on a home, you actually have 60 days to take occupancy. So this gives you a really large window to work with. If you're planning to keep your kids in school wherever you're living right now, let's say they end in June, mid-June, and then you're like, all right, then we're gonna come there to Northern Virginia. Do you have flexibility? Could you come in June or do you wanna come in July? Let's work off June. If you wanna move in June, what is 2 months before that? May. The earliest you could close on a house is May. Then you just have to, April. It's April that's actually the earliest that you can move. If you close in April, then you have 60 days to move in, which would be June. So in Northern Virginia, in the spring market, we're already seeing houses going quickly in the first 4 days, selling for multiple offers and even over list. We'll talk about strategy in a minute, but we're just focused on the timeline right now. So if you want to close in April, really you're not going to start to make offers on houses until March. Again, did you find out in January that you're going to move? Why not set up a buyer consult, talk to a realtor about the moving process. Hey, you're looking at the relocation specialist here. And the reason I say that is if you know you're going to move, there are steps to getting set to get you prepped to make that offer in the earliest stage of April and in the latest, June, really? Because you could move in July. So that gives you April, May, June, multiple months. When you're looking in March, you have at least 4 months that you can be looking for the house so you don't feel overwhelmed and freaking out. So if you start the conversation now in January or even early February, if you're still recovering from all the holidays, getting back into normal, feeling the routines, if you're still feeling overwhelmed and then you find out you're moving here and you're freaking out, take a minute and then reach out. Start to reach out because step number 1 is going to be talk to a local lender. Why a local lender? Well, I'm going to tell you. You just heard that the spring market here in Northern Virginia, things can go fast. Things can go in the first weekend, and so you need to be prepared. It takes an entire team to help you get an offer accepted and get to the closing table smooth with as minimal stress as possible. So a local lender is going to start, you're going to submit paperwork, you'll fill out an application, and you'll get a pre-approval number, a number that you are comfortable spending on a home. And therefore, that's what we're going to set your search parameters up to. So let's just use some round numbers. You're pre-approved for 1.5 million. We're going to set up a search together. I'm going to put that in our search where we can communicate together. And from February, so all of February, and then we can go into March. So let's say 6 weeks, you're really just getting an idea of what's happening in the market. How fast are homes going? How high over list? Do we need to adjust our search parameters so we have the ability to go over list price? These are all questions that you can work out in the pre-work, before you even start time, right? In the pre-time with me, with your agent, to be like, okay, this is where we're liking. We love the look of this community. This is the school ratings that we're really searching for. And these are the houses that we can see ourselves living in. And that makes a huge difference. So when we get to March, you're ready to write a smart, intelligent offer that could get accepted. Now, what is timeline of putting in an offer? Well, if you put an offer in right now, on average, we're seeing closings as quick as 14 days. I know, that feels fast. And it is. It really, really is. And what's important is that you understand you're going to be prepared for that because you already have the pre-approval. You already know which areas you want to look in. We already have kind of targeted what schools, what kind of community, what lifestyle is important to your family. And that's where we're searching. And when we do virtual tours together, I'm going to show you all of that. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to show you the neighborhood. I'm going to show you everything in the house. You're never going to be surprised. And even better, if you want to talk to another mom that lives in that neighborhood, that lives in that community or close by, I have an army of moms ready to chat with you to answer any questions that you have of what it's like of living in that community. Because for me personally, when we moved back from overseas, we were only used to Arlington. Arlington was where we loved. We were obsessed with Arlington, the accessibility, the walkability, the schools were phenomenal. We loved the community. And I had a friend who said, why not look at Vienna? Give it a shot. And I joke all the time because my husband, we were driving out here and he was like, why are we in West Virginia? This is so far. It was just that initial change for us. We had to get over that hump, and that's going to happen in many places. Oftentimes, we get so many families that love Burke. Burke is a really popular area, but if you're not used to being out there, if you're not used to being like, what's the VRE? How do I commute to the VRE? You might feel overwhelmed, like I would never look there. But then once you start to get to know the community and the accessibility, it actually opens up that window for you where you feel more comfortable. So in those pre-stages again, right? We've got your budget, we're looking around, we're really trying to hone in on what kind of life that you want here. And if I'm being honest, as a relocation specialist, I'm thinking of it as an investment for you. You probably aren't going to be here forever. This probably isn't your forever home. And guess what? That's fine. I know what buyers are looking for. I can walk into a house and decide in 7 seconds or less, is this going to be rentable? Are people going to want to live here? Because if the answer is no, I'm going to have that conversation with you and be like, hey, this may be the perfect house for you, but if you go overseas, if you move out of state, is your plan to hold on to it? If it is and you want to rent it out, we've got to think about what the rental market is around you. So we're looking at a much bigger picture than most families when they're buying in Northern Virginia, because you're not most families. When you move every 2 to 3 years, you have to have a different mindset. And so the glasses you wear when we go into a home is different. So we are planning to have these conversations early, right? We've got that 6 weeks that we're having conversations. What is rentable? What can I afford? Where can we live for a few years and still be happy and have the life that we want and create this community for our children and our family that they're excited about? We're going to do that on the pre-work. Then, now it's time, right? The earliest we can write an offer is March. So if we're going to write an offer in March, we would have maybe a 14-day close. In a quick spring market, I often suggest to my clients, let's get into that house on the first day it hits the market. The reason I want to get in on the first day is because if you like it and you see it on a Thursday, you have a little bit of time to A, sleep on it. Maybe you're in a different time zone and you need time to watch the videos. You need to see what the walkthrough is like. You need to ask me more questions. You maybe need to talk to somebody in the community. It's going to feel like an eternity, which I know is crazy. If you go in on Thursday and there's a deadline of Sunday or a deadline of Monday, we have about 3 or 4 days to have these conversations and potentially get in a pre-inspection as well. I always suggest this if you've never owned a home before and maybe it just looks like things are being covered up, because there's always issues with homes. There is maintenance that's required with home ownership. And if we can get in a pre-inspection, they're usually really quick. They do not look at everything, but they try their best to look at the big systems. So you're not coming in blind when you move into the home. We have time to do that as well. So we're in on a Thursday, maybe pre-inspection Friday or Saturday, and we are writing an offer on Sunday, hopefully finding out that you are going to be accepted, your offer is accepted, and you are going under contract. Now, in the spring market, I do prepare my clients that many competitive offers have no contingencies. I know that's scary. However, in that pre-work, we are going to work together and understand what your situation is to make sure you never write an offer you can't close on. We never write an offer with the intention of backing out. If you are writing an offer, it is because you want to move into that house and it is going to be your home for the next 1 to 2 years. Then we'll figure out the rest with the rentability, saleability. I never suggest selling it 2 years. However, so if you write an offer, again, the intent is to close. So they accepted your offer in April, we're closing in May. Now you have 60 days to take occupancy. So what happens? You're gonna need a power of attorney to sign for your closing documents. I can't be that, your agent can't be that. We've got to find somebody local that can sign your documents as your power of attorney, which also means you need a power of attorney. So as soon as you go under closing, we're going to work with the title company to draw up a power of attorney specific to that address that you will have to get signed by a notary wherever you are. You got to mail that back, and we have to have the wet signature by closing. I'm telling you all of this so that you can have this big picture of, wow, there are a lot of moving parts, but she knows what she's talking about, and I don't need to freak out because I have an amazing partner in this journey with me. That is what we do. That is what we specialize in. So again, minimize the freak out. You don't need to freak out. So we've got a power of attorney. They're closing on closing day, and now you've got a vacant house. You're like, what do I do? We're still here to help. We never go away. So you have all this timeline. If you need packages received, I've even accepted someone's car here for them. I know that's crazy, but we're here to help. So when you get boots on the ground, you are ready to hit the ground running. Also, as soon as you have an address, as soon as you close, you can start to reach out to the schools. You can give them your ALTA statement, which is your closing statement, and show them, hey, I own this property now. My kids are going to be in school next year. You can get them set up. But I want you to know, if that does not happen by June 12th, June 15th, whenever school's out, and you think the school's going home for the summer, right? All the admin's going away. Do not freak out. If you buy a home in a school boundary, the school is going to take your kids. If you close in July, you're then going to reach out to the school. Your kids will have somewhere to go. So I do not want you to freak out. I think oftentimes we get in this mindset of like, we're the only one or everyone has to know. But the reality is people don't know. People move last minute. Things happen. Life changes. People change jobs, move schools. Like there is a lot of movement, and most specifically here in Northern Virginia, Fairfax County, Arlington, and Loudoun, they're really used to it. This is a very transient community, and so the schools expect that people are going to make moves, and there will be new kids every single year, and there will be kids that transfer out every single year. That's just kind of the nature of where we live, so I don't want you to panic about that. Make me that promise. Say it out loud. Cassie, I will not panic about the schools. We're going to work together, and it will be fine. So you're closing, you've got this time, you have an address maybe to deliver all of your goods to, you want to get your furniture in before you're there, you can get it set up, or if you're in the foreign service and you're PCSing, you also can use that time still to go into a hotel and maximize your TQSE, so that way you don't move into the home until your furniture is there. I'm going to give you another tip that has helped so many of my clients. And this is going to sound obvious, but it really, really helps. And that's Facebook Marketplace. Do you know how many clients are like, oh my gosh, we've never had furniture. Now we have to furnish the entire home. This is so expensive. This is going to break the bank. It doesn't have to. Honestly, Northern Virginia, one of the super sweet things about it is that people buy things and they sell them, and they are in great condition, and you can get them more affordably on Facebook Marketplace. So you can furnish your house gorgeous, beautifully. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay, but that is a trick. So I know this is a lot of information. We are here really to support you. At the Carey Collective, we specialize in relocation. This is what we do because we have done it all the time. We know what it's like to be in your shoes. We know what it's like to feel overwhelmed when you're walking into all these different communities and you're like, I don't even know what this is like. What is the lifestyle here? What are the kids doing all day? What in the world? How do I commute to work? What are the hidden costs of moving to Northern Virginia? That is going to be a whole other video. But I want you to understand that the reason that we do what we do now is because we have been in your shoes before, and I want this to be such a better experience for you. Such a better experience for you. So if you just found out that you are moving to Northern Virginia, you're having a freak out, take a pause. You don't need to. This video is just the legit bird's eye view, this top high level of what it's like to move to Northern Virginia. And the reality is we got you. We can hold your hand through every single step. But what I want you to take away is the earlier you start, the longer you have to look, the less overwhelm and pressure that you're going to have, and the more prepared and excited you're going to be. And the longer that we're going to have to get to know each other, so I can understand your personality, so I can understand what life you're looking for, what life you want to create here with your family. And that will absolutely help us throughout the process. So if you found out you're moving and you're stoked, now you're excited, and you can't wait to find your next home, you can't wait to build community here in Northern Virginia, make sure you reach out. You can send me a text, 513-284-5396. You can email me, Cassie, C-A-S as in Sam, I, at thecareycollective.com. You can send me a DM on Instagram, at Cassie Carey. You can call me, beat me, anything you need to reach me. We are here for you, and I would love to set up your consult to help eliminate stress for you. When you are moving into Northern Virginia, I want to make this a great experience for you. So I hope you found this helpful. Do not wait. Absolutely reach out. We want to help you. And stay tuned for our next videos of really the hidden costs of moving to Northern Virginia and the 10 things you have to know before moving here.